Welcome to the Grow Your Business for Good show. This is a place where coaches and consultants gather so you can learn how to lead a world-class business that does not tax your time, your energy, or your financial resources. We are your hosts, Shannon Hernandez
and Amy Hager of the Joyful Business Revolution. And our number one goal is to bring you clarity and insight on how to grow your business for good. Before we jump into today's episode, we want to invite you to join us in the Content Personality Club. In this club, we help coaches and consultants attract your perfect fit clients. Here's what we know. When you tweak and enhance your messaging, or maybe even overhaul it, your business is going to get a whole lot better.
If you are experiencing any of these specific problems in your business, we want to help you. Number one, you publish content via email or social media, but it doesn't consistently convert to new clients, nor does it have the fire, flair, and feel you desire. Number two, if you're spending lots of time launching and reworking your offer, but you don't have the number of clients you think you should based on all of your hard work. Or number three, you have spent money on ads and or copywriters in the past, but none of it worked like they said it would.
Then we've got great news for you. Join us in the club where you'll learn how to leverage your content personality to create magnetic messaging. Because when your messaging is working, it does 90% of the heavy lifting for you. Visit www.contentpersonalityclub.com to join now. In this episode, we are diving into the audio content personality. If you have not heard the whole story about our content personality wheel, go back to episode 1. You can get the story of how it was created and the scope of uses in growing your business.
And here's what we want you to remember. Your content personality is the vehicle to deliver your message. So you've got two things.
Beep.
Do what?
I always want to beep beep when you say vehicle. I think of a car.
So your content personality is your vehicle. Today we're talking about the audio vehicle. So you need to remember that when you take the quiz, you will find your dominant content personality type. And this is also the energy of how you best show up. All right. If you need to take the quiz, you can take the quiz at joyfulbusinessrevolution.com/quiz. And you can find out your content personality. Here is a common thing we hear from the audio content personality people. We often hear, oh, that makes sense. People say they love the sound of my voice.
Love it. I mean, if any of you have ever talked to Jordan on our team, that's the voice I want on the other end of the phone every day, all day.
And she is why she is our client care. Her voice is calm. People could listen to her all day. No matter what might be going on, she's going to make it all okay for you.
Yep.
So in each of these episodes, we're diving into the content personality type, and we're really putting our flag in the ground, and we're talking about focusing on growing your email list first. A lot of people seem to have this thing backwards, that they need tons of followers on all the platforms of social media. And by the way, that's bogus bullshit. It just ain't true. We've been busting this myth and helping people around the globe understand less is more, better is better. And simplifying will get you the results you want. So Amy, why do we preach this day in and day out, growing your email list?
I mean, imagine the world with no Facebook or no LinkedIn or no Instagram. What happens if YouTube went away? Okay, I know that might be a little bit extreme, right? But when you think about it, when you're using a social media platform that isn't your email list that you own, it's technically not your list, right? So they could easily just go away with it. And, I've worked with another client who was just like, oh, building an email list, that's scary. I don't want to do it. And so when we figured out a way to build the email list so it wasn't as scary. It was very friendly and kind. I feel like I almost had to trick them into building an email list, to be honest with you. It's been so helpful. And we don't get the same people on the email list actually watching the content on social media. And so that was also a really unique aha that we had recently of, this isn't duplicate content. It isn't too much. We have two ways people are engaging with us. And without that email list, there's no way we'd be able to even know that.
Yeah. And also, just to throw a stat out that is surprising. And as I like to say, if this doesn't hit you in the gut, I don't know what will, to get you to like your little rear end gear to grow your email list. For every dollar spent, whether you're writing the content, creating it, whatever you're doing, for social media, there's a 24% return on investment. And in email marketing, it's a 4,200% return for every dollar spent. And to me, that is a no-brainer. Yeah. As a joyful business growth strategist, and really, we teach people about sustainable business. That is a no-brainer of why you should be focusing on growing your email list. You can also have one platform. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we are putting our stake in the ground here and getting people to come back to building a lovely, engaged community on email, because it matters.
It really does. It really, really does. And I think that when I get the, what's my ROI on my marketing question, I mean, right there. And if you don't feel like it is working for you on social media and you haven't tried to build an email list, I'll figure out a way to trick you into it. Just talk to me.
Amy the trickster, tricking our people into sustainable business. I love it.
So then after we've built the email list, Shannon, where can audio people go? I mean, the easiest one is if you're listening to us here on our podcast, super easy, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you are marketing with audio, you actually have a lot more choices now than you ever had before. That's super fun. We really help our clients with sound clips. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment. Those that want to start podcasts, those who want to do affirmations or small playlists of some type. But Amy, why don't you, for the people watching us on video, why don't you go ahead and pull up your handy dandy graphic and explain some of the different audio types we can be.
Yeah. So this is our content personality wheel, and on it has all the personality types. But under audio, we've already mentioned podcasts is one way, doing interviews. If you're into meditations, audiobooks, I'm going to throw an old school one out there, radio. That is also a great audio way to get your message and get your content out there.
Amy used to be on the radio.
I was Haley Fox, the Fox that Rocks on River 105.
Amazing. Wait, why did you have a fake name?
Because I was on two stations at once at the same time on some days. And so we kept my my normal name, Amy Woodward, at the time, on the other station. And the other thing too is we really wanted to create a persona. Every other DJ at this station had a persona. And so it was like next level. It was pretty cool working there. But that's where I became a #1 classic rock DJ in Southern Minnesota and didn't even know who Alice Cooper was.
Oh my God, y'all, Amy has all these bogus but true stories that I keep learning about her years later, and it's the best, the freaking best. So audio people, great news. You've got more platforms than ever to choose from. All right. We'll just throw the elephant in the room. Clubhouse hit the scene, 1.5 years, 2 years ago, whenever that was. Audio is my last out of 5. So I don't spend a lot of time on audio myself, like listening to audio. However, I did jump into Clubhouse when it first came out. I wanted to see what all the rage was. It was too noisy for me. It was a lot of just, it didn't feel structured enough for me. And so I left there. But here's what we want you to know. When you work with us in the Content Personality Club, we're going to help you simplify everything and find something that is super joyful and super fun for your content personality type. And for our audio people, that can look like different things outside of podcasts. And there's a couple of things that I want to just share today, platform wise, because you might just be surprised about what's available to you out there. So Amy mentioned the radio. We've worked with pretty famous musicians who have transferred into a coaching capacity of coursework, right? Developing coursework and doing some coaching with other musicians. One of their favorite place to hang out is Discord. All right. And my lovely spouse, Maria, hangs out a lot on Discord. She's an electronic music creator, right? And so kind of her community is on Discord. The other one that I want you to know about is this platform called Riffer. RIFFR. And I am pretty excited about this. Amy doesn't even know about this yet because I'm like kind of holding this hostage until
really glad that you spelled it.
this podcast. But within their community, you can download the app. It's a Riffer app. They say, let's listen to some riffs. And it's micro podcasting at its best. I think you stay like under 3 or 4 minutes, and there's all kinds of topics you can dive into. And this just opens the door for audio content personality people to get into podcasting if it has felt overwhelming, like having to do the editing and the intro, and like go to Riffer and check it out. Like, how much fun can you have using your phone, uploading a clip, and like getting people into your world?
Love it. Love
Amy,
it. I think it sounds so much fun. Now I'm like, I'm gonna have to Google this one and look it up.
Yeah, pretty soon Amy's gonna come back and say, all right, we're going to Riffer. We're gonna do some Riffer.
Well, and one way that you've been doing some audio recently that I'm really loving is we have a card deck, right? And these are questions that you ask yourself on your CEO coffee dates. So Shannon, how have you used that in an audio format?
Yeah, so we just started releasing these in the last couple of weeks, and people love them. They love hearing my voice on over the top of a card, if you will. So we are I will go onto Zoom and I will record the audio only of me reading the card and helping people understand their CEO coffee date every week and diving into this card and how it might apply to their business. And then our tech wizard, Lou, he is putting that clip up on SoundCloud. And now people can subscribe to SoundCloud so they get all the CEO coffee dates cards. They can hear me. They're about 6 minutes or less. They can hear me read the card, walk through an example of what's coming up for me in my business, and then turn them back around to go journal on their own business. The other thing, Amy, is our content team has been using Headliner to use this same sound clip for social media. Do you want to talk a little bit about Headliner?
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter, like really, really short, like thought of the day, couple sentences, right? And it's the same concept where you can really take a micro piece of content, get it out there and use it and send it out on social media. And again, like people can subscribe and hear it.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to share with you all, I've had this idea for a while. I have not implemented it yet. As you know, we're covering all the content personalities. So we've got content accessible to everyone. But if you are a content personality, I want to encourage the audio content personality. I want to encourage you to, yes, send your newsletter to your email list in text format, but then let them hear you read it. like story time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's an audiobook, right?
Yes, it's totally like audio newsletters. It's a
Yeah.
super innovative idea. I hope that we can implement this at some point in our own brand. And, the reason why is because the energy of your voice is what attracts people to you. So the more you can get your voice in that audio format, the more people will resonate with it and be attracted to you. The other thing you can do is you can, like we've been talking about, for your sales pages. Well, so we'll transition into selling now. You can do an audio clip on your sales page, introducing yourself, introducing the offer, if you will, and really people will be able to feel that connection to you.
I like that so much better than having to write a sales page or write the whole thing. And I think too, like when you're an audio personality type, introducing who you are and your why, like just think about how amazing that sounds in your voice.
Yeah. So Amy, how about kicking it old school back to phone calls for the sales calls?
Right? Oh my gosh. People still use phones to talk to people and make phone calls. So I want to tell a story about this kid that I know. His name is Nick. And I had hired Nick. I was at a standardized construction contracts coalition, and we were selling standardized construction contracts. So boring, so boring. But we wanted to build our team out with all the content personality types. And the only type I didn't have was audio. And so for our sales role, whenever I interviewed anybody, they had to have the audio under their content personality type. And the person I selected had no background in law, did not like contracts, and was not a lover of standardized construction contracts, but he was an audio content personality type. And so he was actually selling cell phones at a kiosk at the mall and not loving it. And he didn't have a LinkedIn. He didn't have his photo out anywhere, but he could make phone calls all day long and talk to people. And so we were really stuck at like that $750,000 a year mark. When we brought on the audio content personality type to round out the team, we hit $1.2 million in that first year. And by 18 months, it was 1.4 million. And so again, like when you think about, you get to start your own business and like you're doing something that's really in your soul, think about that. If you're an audio content personality and you're leveraging that, how much more you can grow your impact and show up in service because you're going to be talking about something that you love.
Yeah, so important. And so imagine being able to get on a phone and also having what we call the soulful sales script next to you, right? We've developed this soulful sales script to help not only ourselves, but our clients close more sales with a script that doesn't feel like a script. And with 5 golden questions, I keep wanting to say golden eggs, with 5 golden eggs that we know just from trial and error, Amy and I, but also working with our clients and teaching them how to, joyfully make sales calls work for them. There are 5 golden questions you must hit as you sell, or you revert to coaching, which is what many of us love to do in teaching, right? But then people don't buy, right? If you over coach on a strategy call.
Yeah. And so being able to have that soulful sales script as your outline to keep you in your lane, in the right lane, because it's just such a default and so easy to just start coaching and giving solutions. And, we also have really found using our winning workshop framework has worked really well. And again, the key piece of that is we took the coaching and the solutions and giving people the answers out of it. And so I could totally see where, someone could use the winning workshop framework and an audio course or something along those lines to really kind of have a piece of them to help sell their offer.
Yeah. And one thing we want to just say to everyone out there is if you are over teaching in your sales calls, your strategy sessions, your workshops, you're going to have a hard time converting. So that's why we spent a lot of time this past year developing these tools for our clients and for our students so that they have the frameworks and the scripts available to them to make more of those sales and to have more of those winning workshops so they can be doing the work they want to be doing in the world and having that impact. Before we hop off today, I also want to talk about audio messages. If you have not discovered this, it's probably one of my most favorite tools to use. We use Voxer within our team to communicate in audio if we need something. And I have sold actually using an audio message on Facebook, and I'm using it more now on Instagram and LinkedIn to reach out to people so they can hear my voice and they can feel that connection. And, I get a response of messages back when I go to this audio message button. Some people are like, oh my God, I didn't know this button even existed. Thank you for introducing me to audio message. So that's super fun. And then another one that I get quite a bit when I drop an audio message onto somebody, as I like to say, is, gosh, it was so good to hear your voice. Like, thank you for taking the time to send me a message. So it's just deepening that level of connection. Amy, you're using audio, I think too, to coach our clients.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think, I use audio Facebook messaging when we do our accountability touch base every week. And, there are times where I can't leave an audio message. And so I'm typing, but it is really, really nice to have those voice to voice connections. And, I'm using it too with Voxer with some of our students. But when you're thinking about the selling side of it, being able to make a heart-filled ask using your voice is such a huge impact.
So huge. So huge. So we hope that today you were able to glean some great marketing and selling strategies for audio. And
in our next episode, we are going to dive into the visual content personality. We're going to share some more marketing tips, some more selling tips, and of course, more awesome success stories. Thank you for listening to the Grow Your Business for Good podcast with your hosts, Shannon Hernandez and Amy Hager.
Head over to www.joyfulbusinessrevolution.com/quiz to take the content personality quiz and join our community. And remember our mantra, if it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit.
If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show, leave a review, and spread the good news with other coaches and consultants.